Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to begin our presentation shortly. My name is Larry Benson. I'm the marketing specialist here at Network Consulting Services, or NCSI, as you probably know us. Today, we are discussing Ivanti Risksense, and Bryan Hadzik and Dave Lamson are set and ready to go in our talk show atmosphere in Studio 3B. So I'm going to go ahead and cut over to them right now.
Thanks, Larry, and welcome everybody. I hope you're enjoying your lunch today. I'm Dave, and Brian's with me here.
Hi there.
We're going to have some fun today. We're going to share some serious information, but we're also going to entertain a little risk. Brian has been complaining for, I don't know, as long as we've been doing these Grub Club webinars, that he's the only person that doesn't get to eat.
I'm standing up there and presenting and watching people eat. Yeah.
Finally, we got sick of listening to him complain, so we're going to feed him today.
All right.
He may not quite be ready for what he's going to get today because we are going to have the Hot Wings Challenge, and that's just an example. We want to have an example of risky behavior, right, Brian?
Yeah, risky behavior. What kind of things are risky? Eating on a presentation. I think that's quite a bit of risk, right? What about wearing a white shirt, long sleeve white shirt, when you're eating hot wings on camera that everyone can see you? I think that's
and
pretty
what about
risky.
Your phone? We talked about whether you were going to go on.
All right. Well, I will take my phone off of mute. Risky of seeing who's going to call me in the middle of this presentation. So. All examples of risky behavior. We are going to be talking about Ivanti's Risksense today, right, Dave?
Yeah, and Ivanti's long been known for having some of the best patching solutions for endpoints in the industry.
Yep.
But more recently, they've really even upped their games, right, with some different ways for patching servers, and there's lots of third-party content that they've always had, but more recently, with the acquisition of Risksense, that's really been another leap forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ivanti purchased the company Risksense last year, and we're going to be talking about that today and what it kind of brings to the table. Just like Dave said, we've got great ways of applying patches and getting that third-party content, but oftentimes, understanding what the prioritization is. Where do I start? I always kind of joke that patching is a thankless job. Nobody gets an award at the end of the month for successfully patching, right? And so, how do we prioritize what we should focus on? What I need to worry about from a risk perspective? That's what we're going to be diving into, as well as a little bit of how we actually accomplish some of that patching.
And you said nobody gets an award for patching, but it doesn't mean it's not critical, right? The Center for Internet Security still listed as one of the top things
absolutely.
that must be covered, as well as every day in the news, right? We're hearing about nation-state attacks on endpoints, and we're going to hopefully solidify our defenses today.
Yeah, absolutely. The patching is incredibly critical. It's sometimes overlooked or kind of pushed over into the corner, but it's a huge part of cybersecurity. So we're going to talk about that today with the new product, the Ivanti Neurons for risk-based vulnerability management. That is the name of the product that we're going to be talking about today, and we're going to kind of dive into that and hopefully do our best to show you what that ends up looking like. So we're going to go through and give you a presentation and have a little wings, have a little bit of lunch right here.
And again, the idea is about every 5 minutes or so, you're going to do successively hotter wings. I'll let you and Larry get into that in a minute. Speaking of risk, I know we've got Jan on the big board today controlling things. That could be our biggest risk of all. So,
no, I believe the biggest risk is complaining about the person that signs your paychecks.
Agreed. Agreed. That one is a big risk.
Jan is doing an excellent job, and we have no fear of anything going wrong today. So I know you tend to get a little long-winded, Brian.
Yep.
I'm not going to let you stall any longer. I need you to get over there with Larry and have the first wing.
Okay, let's do it. All right, so Larry,
welcome to my world.
I am terrified here. What are we doing here today?
You should be. Have you seen Hot Ones?
Yeah, I have. So it's a YouTube series, right?
Correct.
They invite on celebrity guests, and first of all, I'm flattered that you consider me a celebrity, so thank you for that. And you have to eat hot wings, and they get hotter and hotter over time, right?
Yeah, as the interview goes.
You have to keep talking. So that's my challenge today, is seeing if I can survive this and continue to talk about the product as we're kind of going through it. So
So we're gonna start here with a classic sauce.
Okay.
We're gonna gradually move up.
Okay.
This one starts out at an 1800 Scoville rating.
Okay, so Scoville, I know about that. For those who want to know kind of more technical details, there's a chemical in these hot sauces called capsaicin. And that's what your tongue absorbs and your mouth absorbs that gives you the indicator of heat, right, of temperature. And so there was a measurement system created by this guy named Wilbur Scoville that has a numerical scale of how hot things are. Thank you, getting that on my wing.
Yeah,
so this was 1800 on the Scoville scale.
This is 1800.
How high does it go? What are we going to get up to here?
Well, our goal is to get up over 2 million.
2 million. Okay, so the first one, classic hot sauce. This is just kind of what everyone's kind of used to, is the stuff you're going to get at normal restaurants. That's 1,800, and the last one's 2 million. And how am I going to survive this, Larry? What's
a little bit of sweat, a little bit of tears.
Yes,
we'll see. So,
okay, so
no more putting it off.
No more putting it off. Okay,
go ahead.
But tell me about my safety things here. I got some milk.
You got some milk.
If I have to cave in, or I've never heard of banana being part of cooling your mouth down, because you don't want to use water. Water just swishes it around, right? And
makes it a lot worse.
Makes it worse. So I'm going to try and avoid the water, even though normally during a presentation I'm drinking a lot because I'm sitting there talking. So
yeah, that might be a bad thing today.
This is going to be difficult.
All right.
Okay, let's start with this first one. This is the classic hot sauce.
You go ahead first.
Okay.
You take that first bite. You in there?
Very good. Just typical hot sauce. Got that spicy. You can feel it on my tongue, but great flavor. Very good flavor.
Really good flavor.
That's a great wing. I really enjoy that. So
okay.
So our process is going to be every couple of minutes here. I'm going to have to be called back to over here to the whiteboard, and we're going to get a progressively hotter wing. So that's part of the process, right?
All right.
Okay. Let's get started. Thank you. All right. So we're going to be talking today about risk-based management of vulnerabilities. What does that really mean? What is kind of the concept behind that? So think about what the problem that we have today. You may have thousands of computers in your environment, and every single month, dozens or maybe even hundreds of patches come out for those devices, and it is a huge job to go through and patch that. We've kind of developed this process, though, of how this typically works. We've got a patch engine that goes and corrects those problems. That's oftentimes something like, a Windows update, or in our case, our Ivanti, security controls product does patching, Endpoint Manager does patching, but that's the engine for actually going and doing the patching. Kind of a bigger question to that is, what should we be patching out there? Well, the industry kind of answered that question, 15 plus years ago with the concept of vulnerability scanning. And so, for those who aren't familiar, the Center for Internet Security, they put out something called the critical security controls. They've got this, used to be 20, now it's 18 controls that they say, hey, we should, organizations should implement these. And they even say some pretty cool stats, like in the top 5, there is, that's 87% of breaches exist in those top 5 controls. And so, a lot of times people are trying to get super advanced and have awesome detection and response, and then they're skipping over the defaults or the blocking and tackling, the basics of cybersecurity. Do I know what I have? What software is out there? Controlling admin rights. Well, one of those is vulnerability lifecycle management, making sure that we understand what is the lifecycle of those vulnerabilities, how quickly do I need to patch them, and so forth. So we have vulnerability scanning tools. There's plenty of them out there. Things like Rapid7, Qualys, products like that. Risksense is not one of those products. It does not go and sweep the network looking for vulnerabilities. Rapid7 and Qualys, they already go and do that. What we want to do is we want to take the results of those scans and try and decide what to do with it. How many times have you gone through and run one of those scans? And if you're a larger organization, it comes back with, 100,000 results or 200,000 results. What do I do with that information? What do you do with a list of 100,000 of anything? There really isn't a great concept of saying, how do I go and actually tackle those? And then we have other problems around things like, are all of our devices created equal? Well, no, they're not, right? Maybe if I'm a healthcare institution and my main ERP application has that, I need to, worry about that more than, a test printer or something like that. Oh, Looks like it's timer. Timer's up. I've got to go back over here to our whiteboard and go to our next wing. Right, Larry?
Yep, you're up. You're up. So I went ahead and put your little bottle up. You've accomplished the classic sauce. So we're going to go ahead and get you another one here going. This one is the Calabria sauce, and this one is going at 15,700.
So what are we talking? This is 5 times as spicy. How does this scale work? Is it logarithmic? Is it just linear? We should have done some research on that.
Yeah, no, it just gets hotter. That's all it is.
That's all it does. Hotter. It gets hotter.
Yep.
Okay. I need someone in the comments to jump in and chime in on the technical details on how that works. So, okay, I did it first last time. Now it's your turn.
All right.
I noticed you put a very generous amount on mine. Thank you for that. That's not terrifying at all.
Okay, that one's a little sweeter.
Sweet. So, sun-dried tomatoes, garlic, chilies. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
All right, so you're enjoying that one. All right, here we go.
Did you guys talk about your drinks over there and why there's a banana sitting there?
Yeah,
we did.
I must have missed the banana part of it.
Yeah, milk being our crutch. If we go to the milk, we'll consider ourselves failures. So we're going to try and avoid that as much as possible.
Bow your head and feel shame.
Lightweights.
So I like the flavor. I didn't think that was spicier. I didn't feel that was more spicy than our last one.
Really?
Yeah, maybe even a tiny bit less.
I don't know. I got a little bit on my lip, so I am definitely feeling that one on my lip a little bit more.
Okay, so I still think I would prefer the classic over this Calabria. How do I say that?
Yeah.
So still my favorite, the
all
classic.
Right, so you want to rate these and what you like the best?
Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah, I still like that classic one first.
All right.
So okay.
Right, I'm gonna go 6s. I kind of like that one too.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Back to your presentation. We'll
All
be
right.
back in 5.
Okay. Where were we at? Okay, we were talking about risk and your different devices and whether they should all be created equal. My ERP system with all my patient records is not the same as a test print server that I have. So we need to be able to prioritize and understand where I should be focusing first. Obviously, I should go patch those critical servers in a more quick manner necessarily than my test servers out there. So we're going to be talking about how we can help with that prioritization. I'm going to jump in and show you a little bit more about what the Risksense product actually looks like. So here I am logged into the dashboard. Now, this is a very simple cloud-based tool. It's going to go and ingest your vulnerability scanning details. So again, you already have most likely a Rapid7 or a Qualys or something like that. If you don't have a vulnerability scanner, that's okay. We can provide one as part of this as well. But that's not really the focus. We're going to take that information and we're going to go and do something with it. So here's this weaponization funnel. This is my favorite part of the entire tool because it helps tell that story of exactly what's going on here. In our example here, we've gone and done a Rapid7 or something like that. We've done a scan, and look, we found 119,000 total findings. This is typically what the output of a normal vulnerability scanning system is going to look like. Now, there's going to be some different things in there around the life cycle of those vulnerabilities as well, but there's some big problems in there. What about things like the security or the criticality of a particular vulnerability? The criticality of a vulnerability is set by the vendor. So Microsoft releases a patch for a vulnerability, and they say it's high important, or they say it's critical, or they're going to come back and they're going to categorize it. However, that then stays. That doesn't change. It doesn't, over time ever get updated if there's a bigger problem, if something's going on, if there's some reason to believe that it should change over time. So there's been some examples of, maybe low and medium vulnerabilities that end up being what should be more critical and high and things like that. And so this information needs to get distilled down. So here I have 119,000 total findings in the top of my weaponization funnel. The next section here is weaponized. Which one of those vulnerabilities have been weaponized? What does weaponization mean? It means that it's not just academic anymore. In the vulnerability management, we're usually thinking, okay, it's probably a problem because I can use this code to exploit against it, but here's just the theory behind it. What a weaponization means is someone actually went and built a tool. I can download it off the internet or maybe on the dark web or something like that, or I can have like a module that plugs into a framework like a Metasploit or something like that, and I can actually go and attack it. So the first filter is to take out weaponization. If it has not been weaponized, it's only academic whether you can actually are vulnerable to it. So you can see we've distilled that down to 28,200 that are in our weaponization funnel right here. Okay, what about next? Someone's got a sample exploit code. They've loaded into Metasploit. That means it's in weaponization. Next, we have what's called remote code execution and privilege escalation. That's this RCE/PE section. When you have these kinds of vulnerabilities, what if the vulnerability comes back and says, well, first of all, you need to have physical access to the laptop. Then you need to reboot it, and then you go into the BIOS, and then if you press these 5 keys together, you know what? That's not as risky, because that is not remote code execution. Remote code execution, just like it sounds, I can remotely execute code on the machine. So what that means is, gotta pause. Time for a wing. Let's head over there. Larry, I was just in the middle of a good section here. So what are we doing here?
Okay, all right. Sorry, I'm gonna jump in on this one quick. So now we are going to the Las Calientes.
Oof.
And this one is sitting at the 49,000 mark.
Ooh, 49,000.
So I've already loaded mine up here, but I'm going to give you.
I get to do my own. Okay.
I'm going to give you that. Go ahead. Let's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's risky? Not knowing the viscosity of the hot sauce before you pour it, and pouring a whole bunch on your wing. That's risky. So okay, I guess
right.
I have to go first since you did the last
Yep,
one.
yep, you do that one.
I see a seed right there. I know the seeds are particularly spicy. So here we go.
While you guys are enjoying those, I will say we've been getting a couple of recommendations in the chat. Mark says you should try something known as the bomb, which goes up to be could be as high as 500,000 on the scale.
The bomb.
Oh, we've got it on our list.
And the bomb is not the last one. We have one past the bomb, so I'm going to cry by the time we get
Dave's
there.
Insanity. I don't know if that's on the list.
I don't think we have Dave's Insanity, but Dave is insane. I can definitely.
Aptly named for sure.
All right. What are you feeling?
Somewhat spicier than the first, but not as bad as I would have thought. It's, I can still talk. I can feel the heat. I'm starting to sweat just a tiny bit. I can feel that. I'm terrified of what's going to happen later on, but no, that was good. I'd put that, above the Calabria, but still below the classic hot sauce.
All right.
I didn't feel like it had an amazing amount of flavor. I could taste a little bit of sweet. Was there something sweet in there?
It must be. Let's see. What do we got
I don't know what was in here. I definitely felt some sweetness to that one.
Habaneros. Yeah, a little bit sweeter. Yeah, they say that. So
okay, but habanero, yeah, it's making me sweat, but I can definitely survive. Don't need my milk or my banana, anything like that yet.
All right, you doing good?
I will survive. I can continue to talk. Let's get back to the presentation.
Get it going.
All right. So we're back over here. We're talking about the remote code execution, just like it sounds. I can, usually like over the internet, I can exploit your machine. I can, maybe through a web browser or an email or a link you click on or something like that, I can have software run on your computer. And then PE, privilege escalation, that's important. If I'm running it just as a regular old-fashioned user, that's not exciting, right? Privilege escalation is saying, I want to jump up from that and have more rights. I want to run something as admin, as an example. So those are the really concerning ones, because just because it's weaponized doesn't mean it's a huge risk to me directly. But as soon as it gets to be remote code execution, privilege escalation, we've entered the realm of, yes, this is now very important. Something that could absolutely be in my network today if I don't get things patched. That sauce is coming to me now. I can feel it. So look, we've narrowed it down. Started with 119,000. Now we've got it down to 28,000. Now with remote code execution and privilege escalation, we're down to 10,500. So we've already distilled it down 90%. And then lastly, we have trending. Trending is important because we need to know what's going on in the world. Are there any geopolitical events that are happening right now? Are these particular exploits big and popular? Think just over the holidays, we had the log4 shell vulnerability. It was everywhere. It was in the news. There was lots of exploits going on. It was now my nose is starting to run. It is a common thing that's happening. So we've narrowed it down even more. The Risksense engineers, they comb the dark web, they look on exploit sites, they see what people are kind of talking about, and that's where we can get that score. So now look at that. We're down to 965. So we started at 119,000. We have shrunk that down to 965. Thank you, Dave. And that is a much, much more manageable number. So it's not that I'm not going to patch the other things. Let's dispel that. We are absolutely going to go and patch those other things. I just need to know where I need to start. What do I need to kind of worry about and kind of go from there? There's something risky. Larry's phone just went off. He's doing the same challenge as me, is leaving his phone off mute. I can't believe that mine hasn't rang, actually. And so now I've narrowed it down. 119,000, now I've got it down to 965. And if I wanted to go, I could go click on that and get a little bit more information about those individual vulnerabilities. We have something called the VRR, which are vulnerability risk rating, that we're going to give a numerical value to those vulnerabilities to try and high, medium, low, and critical, high, important. Those don't really mean a lot. And so we want to make sure that it updates over time, and we bring in information like what the vendor says and what the CVSS score is and things like that to help calculate that. I can see that in this case it's open. In this case I have the asset criticality. Remember, not all devices are created equal. So I want to have a listing of what my critical devices are. And so in this case, criticality of 1, hey, this is important, I've got to go do something with it. I could click on that individual asset if I wanted to and go take a look at it. We have something called the RS3 score, which is our ability to give each device an individual rating. Think of this as like a credit rating, and that's actually kind of the scale that we're looking for. In this case, this device is rated at 427. Hey, that's a problem. That is bad. That is a bad credit score. It's a bad vulnerability score. We've got to do something about that. And you can actually open up this Simulate RS3 score. I think it does some cool things around kind of letting you understand, oh, well, if there was mediums were this level and, criticals were that, and our asset critically was the most critical out of 5, what would the simulation of the score be in that particular case? So it gives us some great, we got another wing. All right, pausing the conversation, heading back over.
All right, welcome back. Here we go. And
what do you have next for me, Larry? I am terrified.
This would be the ghost pepper sauce.
Oh, ghost pepper. I have heard about these, and
Queen Majesty.
Not looking forward to it.
Ghost hot sauce. So I got a little carried away. It does. I'm
generous.
I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you do your own, since I don't want to be responsible for that viscosity.
Okay. Did we need to look up what our healthcare plan is, or our insurance rating for eating incredibly hot stuff at work here? If I'm barfing here, am I going to get something?
See that? I noticed that you have a garbage can right there.
Off camera, I might have tried to manage some of my risk here with some details there. You never know if we might need it, but you know what? We plan for that kind of contingency. We have something, in our back pocket in case something like that happens. So, just in case, we've got that ready to go.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
Now you also have, the milk and the banana.
Haven't touched it yet.
Haven't touched that yet. However, I found in the studio fridge something lurking around that seems a little bit like a cheat.
No, I don't know what you're talking about, Larry. That's absolutely not
what
me.
What did I find? Heavy cream here?
No, that's absolutely not mine, Dave. Larry, I am holding it for a friend. A friend asked me to hold the heavy cream. Alton Brown actually went to one of his shows when he came to town a couple of months ago, and he says that's the secret to surviving really hot foods, is to gargle heavy cream before.
Well, wait, is it open, Larry?
No, it's not.
Okay. See?
I'm
holding it for a friend, and I didn't even open it. So that wasn't me for sure.
All right.
I just want to say, at the mention of ghost peppers, the comments really started to ramp up a little bit.
Okay, let's wipe off some sweat here. Okay,
all right, Dave, you take over conversation here for a second.
So
you go ahead.
You're first. Hey, I went the last one first.
Okay.
So,
all right, ready?
Ooh, that is a lot. Good luck with that.
Yeah, so a little behind the scenes here. We're actually got enough wings for the entire office today. We have a lot of people have been working from home, but
did you see his face?
Yes.
That is a terrifying face
Yes.
to see when you're about to eat a incredibly spicy chicken wing.
Oh, and I think I had double.
Okay, here we go.
But a lot of them are coming into the office today to enjoy some of these wings. I don't know if after watching this they're going to be very brave with these sauces. I know I can't handle it. Oh, good face there, Brian.
Woo! Okay, so this one, way down there.
That is a very hot wing. I can taste the ghost peppers. They're for sure in there. And I'm not sure who gets pleasure out of that. That is a strange thing for someone to voluntarily eat that. So,
Oh, okay. We still got at least 2 more levels to go, right?
oh, do we have 2? I don't know if I could survive that. So I'm putting that one pretty low. The flavor, the flavor was okay, but the heat just drowns it all out. It almost tastes like molasses or something, right?
Maybe that's why I don't like it. That is nasty. Ooh,
some kind of like, I don't know, molassesy, or it's got pineapple juice in it. Oh, black cocoa. That's what it is. You're tasting the cocoa in it. Ooh.
Yeah, cocoa juice.
So that one is tough. Okay.
Brian, I've seen you present in front of hundreds of people before. You barely get nervous. Never seen you sweat.
Never seen me
and
sweat.
look at this, a stupid chicken wing, and you're dying over there.
And I'm dying over here.
How you doing? White shirt, okay? You're good.
Okay, at least that's okay. All right, let's head back. We'll keep talking. And let's do our best to take many breaths in between each statement. Okay. So we're simulating our score here for our particular device, understanding more about it. Here's that VRR group where we have, critical, high, medium, low, etc. It also talks about the number of days that, those things have been inside of it, what its tolerance for those patches are. This is where we can sit down and kind of make those kinds of judgments of saying, what is our acceptable amount of risk we are going to have for this particular asset? Is it supercritical? Is it low? And what is our tolerance for that accepted risk? We can have SLA information, and here's our risk tolerance matrix showing us, versus a critical thing. Obviously, we need to patch earlier, and if it's a more critical asset, we need to patch it a lot earlier. Oh, I'm looking at that milk. I'm not going to go for it, but I sure am looking at it.
Stay strong.
Stay strong. For those at home, I hope you are also eating the ghost pepper and crying a little bit like I am. Okay, so over here you can see more details, and then we get into things like, CVE and so forth. So back here on our dashboard, I want to jump back and talk a little bit more about that score system that we have. Here's a couple other ways you can look at it from a different funnel, addresses based on the findings over time, things like that. But here back on our executive dashboard, you can see there we have that Risksense security score. That's that RS3 score that we have that is going to tell us more about an individual device and what is going to be our accepted risk level associated with this. So now I've done my scans, I've done my Rapid7 or whatever that is, and I have scooped up all that information, I've put it into the system, and now I know where to go and start. Again, I can start with remote code execution or privilege escalation or, even just that very specific trending over time. You can see my high impact findings over time. Now I know what I want to go and do. I want to go and apply these patches. And so now we have lots of different ways that we can go and do it. This is an informational tool that gives you a prioritization around risk. Once you understand that risk and you've made the decision on what you're going to do, we've got several systems that can actually go and implement that. So let's go and talk about those for a second. So we have many patching tools in the ecosystem of Ivanti, and not all of them are created equal. They use the same engine and the same database on the back end, but we want to choose the one that makes sense for your particular use case. So let's talk about a couple of different ones. First of all, I'm going to talk about our neurons. Oh, whoops, it looks like it logged me out. Another risky behavior, not being logged into the tool you're going to show off to everyone. At least it didn't make me change my password. That would have been risky. So here we have our Ivanti neurons for patch. So if I go down here to my patch intelligence, I'm given the ability to see more information about, I'm going to go click on all patches, not just my environment, but I want to kind of see everything. Now I'm seeing a bigger picture on what the vulnerabilities have been that have been released. This is more, instead of more theory and planning, this is actually getting into that kind of execution. Down here in the bottom, you can see those individual vulnerabilities, what platform that they are for, what the dates are and so forth. And then look at this. This is where we're merging the technologies together. You can see we have the Risksense VRR group actually showing up right here. So now we're taking that Risksense data and we're feeding it into our patch management technology. So now I can have a better understanding of what exactly is going on here. So, looks like another wing. Let's head over there.
How you doing?
Okay, I am crying and sweating and having trouble breathing. That's how I am, Larry. And I am.
I think I'm beating up a little
Yes,
bit.
I can see that. So I want that milk so bad. I'm going to stay away from it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay.
I think I saw in the chat Tony commented to don't touch your skin or eyes or face.
Yeah.
And right after I read that, for some reason, I wiped my nose. So I got a double burn going on. It's quite a.
Yeah, that's no fun. I've done cutting jalapenos and then rubbing my eyes.
Well, the better advice was to make sure you wash your hands before using the restroom. One of our
Good
one-
point.
Great
people
advice. We also
posted
got the we also got the wet naps here, for it.
All right, good enough. All right, so now we're to the bomb.
Da bomb.
Da bomb.
Who called
Here we
that
go.
out? I want to know which mark that was, and I'm gonna.
So
be
it's
upset for
it's
him.
quite interesting. They say it's natural spices, natural flavor, blah 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 blah. It says nothing about what's in it other than spices. So it's just hot.
Spices. That's
Now,
it.
I loaded up.
Who's first this time? Is it you again, please?
Mine's ready. I'll go ahead and eat. I think
Okay,
it's
you
you,
do
but I'll go. You.
Okay. What's this on the Scoville score?
Oh, this one is 135,000.
135,000. So if it is linear, it is close to 100 times as hot as our first one, which is hot.
Yeah.
100 times. So I'd like to do a giveaway. Larry's going to eat it and cry. We talked about the Scoville score and where that came from, Wilbur Scoville. Whoever puts in chat first, the town that Wilbur Scoville was from, in the United States here, you're going to win a set of these sauces. We're going to send it out to you. So start putting in the chat. Dave's going to monitor those. Where was Wilbur Scoville from? What city in the United States? Larry
It's
can't
got
talk.
a really good taste.
Really? Good taste? Or is that just what you're saying?
Straight face.
Because you can't say anything.
No, it's got really good flavor.
Oh, jeez.
It's hot.
All right. I'm trying to not put too much. Hopefully on camera they can't see that I'm wimping out and not putting a huge amount, but that's still more than I'd like.
plenty.
That's
Oh my
plenty.
gosh, that's not enough.
Okay,
so
here we-
what you guys don't know is I put up a poll in the chat. Will Brian need to use the wastebasket? We had 57 responses. 56 said yes.
Woo. Oh my gosh, that is very warm. That is very warm. I don't know how to rate the flavor other than ow and a cough. Is that on the scale somewhere?
we did have a winner on the poll. Mark, who's been participating.
Mark
did get it. Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Near my
All right.
hometown, near and dear to my heart.
I hope that was Mark. He gets a bomb and he cries when he eats it like I am. Okay, so I'm going to put that one. It has slightly better flavor, but I am going to cry over it, and so I'm not going to put that super. I'm going to say that's a number 4 on my list. Oh, I need that milk. Give me a minute. I need a breather.
Go for the milk.
No, milk is for quitters, Dave.
Go for the milk.
Milk is for quitters.
The chat disagrees. They say no shame in going for the
I'm
milk.
going for the milk. I'm going to die. I don't know if I can talk anymore.
I lied. They all said if you go for the milk, they're going to lose respect for you.
They should lose respect for me. If I didn't have to keep talking, I'd be fine. But since I have to keep talking,
Our subject matter expert, Mark, says that the bomb can give you hiccups too, so there's that to look forward to.
all right,
Okay. Get back to work.
all right. I will try to. Okay. So here we are.
You know what the worst part is we've actually got a couple of questions, and I'm almost scared to ask you.
Let's do it. I'm used to questions.
Okay, as we apply the patches, does the system self-update, or do you have to manually re-ingest each time?
So the scanning system is going to go in.
Look at you, true professional.
I'm trying. The scanning system is going to rescan those, see that they are not vulnerable anymore, and essentially take them out of the mix. So it's kind of a check and balance system. Our patching tool is going to say, yes, that's patched, but we want the vulnerability management tool to come back and verify that that's the case. So they will get deactivated in the system, where they'll just say, hey, this particular problem has been resolved, where the patching tool kicks in and actually does that. Take a breath. So you don't have to go and manually take those out, just by your mechanism of patching, that's going to fix that. So here we are talking about or is there any more questions, Dave?
Yeah. What about reporting? Are there management type progress reports available?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was showing some of those executive style dashboards that show that kind of bigger picture. The timeline in a real production system is going to be a lot more exciting with ups and downs. We see this unique impacted findings over time. You're going to go create different dashboards that you want. Here's that prioritization dashboard that shows information over time or findings, recent findings that are happening. And then you can, go in, get really hyper-focused, like, hey, let's go focus on ransomware. The boss is coming in saying, hey, I'm really worried about ransomware. What are we going to do about it? What's the problem? Well, ransomware is usually a certain set of vulnerabilities that are out there. So I can focus on that and kind of have that same weaponization funnel over it. Understand the weaponization by age. What about old vulnerabilities that are still outstanding there? What do we need to worry about there? And so forth. So lots of different dashboards and reports that you can go and run and get this information out of the tool. So good question. Go ahead.
We actually had one more. Can you take the Risksense priorities and load them into security controls via API?
So that's going through the integration process right now. We talked about how we can get that information showing up here in the Risksense VRR group. That same thing is going to apply. So for those that aren't aware, we have a product called Security Controls. And Security Controls gives you the ability to patch your servers and your workstations without an agent. That's a super cool feature. It's still in the mouth. When it gets on the back of your throat, it is not great. We will be able to bring that in, but it's going to be automatically loaded. So that kind of integration is in process right now with Security Controls, so that when you go look at your patching information here or your patches, that Risksense VRR information is going to be one of those additional fields showing up here in vendor security and so forth. So that helps integrate the next step. Okay, I know that it's vulnerable. I know it's a problem. What are we going to do next? So Security Controls is our agentless, oftentimes in the data center, patching system. Could do some cool things like PowerShell integration. Maybe you need to patch a SQL cluster and you need to take one device out of the cluster, apply the patches, and then restart it and put it back in the cluster and then go on to the next cluster member. So lots of cool stuff it can do with an API or a PowerShell API with that. And then we have Endpoint Manager. Endpoint Manager is our classic endpoint tool. It does require an agent, but has that same list of third-party applications. Patching Chrome and Firefox and Java and all these things that are not provided directly by the manufacturer. And so we have the ability to do that. So the same kind of thing, that information is going to get imported here along with the CVE IDs and the CVSS scores, excuse me, as well. So yes, we are going to ingest that information automatically over into the patching tools. So that makes a great concept that Risksense can help supplement your existing implementations that you have. Okay, and that's it. I'm glad I'm done with my presentation. Let's head back over though.
Being done with your presentation just means you're going back over.
It is still a problem. So
you are doing far better than I am. I don't know how you're talking.
I cheated. I got the milk. The milk helps, Larry.
Okay, does it? I haven't opened it yet, so I'm trying to.
You were the one that didn't open it. I held out. All right, so Larry, what do we got left?
Okay, before we do that, I want to thank Caitlin Killian for doing our artwork. She made us festive, so
great.
Thank you, Caitlin.
I like it.
Okay, so going on to the last one. The last dab.
Okay, so this is our last one. We should be doing risky things like inviting Dave to come over here and try it out. He said he didn't want to be part of this, but not asking him ahead of time, that's pretty risky behavior.
What was that? You want me to turn off the AC?
Dave, are you going to come over here and try this, the last dab, the hottest thing?
You cannot shame me into that.
How high is this on the Scoville score?
2 million plus.
2 million?
Plus.
So I can't do the math on what the difference between regular hot sauce is and that, but I'm glad we're going to be coming close to wastebasket time and maybe be done.
What about Jan? Is Jan game for this?
Oh, I don't think Jan's going to survive. So, okay, let's try it out. Who's first? Same time.
Same time?
Same time.
I already put sauce on mine. So
did you put enough, Larry?
I think I put enough.
All right, so I hope we don't have technical difficulties. I hope we're going to be able to get through this. Okay, Larry, here we go.
Okay, here we go. Ready?
Last stab. Have cheers on that. Here we go. Here.
Okay.
Wait, the technical difficulties, you guys didn't swap out for a weaker sauce, right?
course not.
We wouldn't do that.
Oh, that's not that
Yeah, I
hot.
think another dab and another bite.
Another dab, another bite.
you know what?
Because I don't believe. I think you swapped it out there when
Yeah.
you were off camera for a second.
Well, show them the camera.
Okay, so
here it
there's
is.
a little bit-
There's the last dab, if you can see that.
Okay, we're going to double dip on that one because I don't think it was that bad.
We're not cheating.
Maybe it heats up, but I might regret this.
Ooh, I did a lot on that one. Here we go. So this has pretty good flavor. I don't know what's in it, but the flavor is pretty good. So either it's delayed or
I like that.
my mouth was burned off from the bomb, and I just can't feel anything anymore. And I'm dead inside. It could be that.
I don't know how the bomb is sitting at 135,000 and that's 2 million.
Yeah. I think that rating system is not quite right. For those that playing on at home, I think the da bomb was hotter than the last dab.
Yeah, for sure.
It's still hot.
Are you sure? Maybe you should do one more to bomb.
One more to bomb. I think we're going to save that for next
I'm good.
time.
I'm good.
Yeah, and since we already cheated and I already lost, I'm going to grab some milk here. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for attending. We really appreciate you sitting through our demonstration that we did here. Hopefully you had a good time watching us sweat. I made it through with no phone calls and nothing on my shirt. So I'm happy about that.
I had texts. Sorry.
And Brian and Larry, thank you guys for being such good sports. I know this was something that I've been trying to get you to do for quite some time, and again, I wouldn't go beyond teriyaki. So I appreciate the bravery, and I hope everybody had fun with it. And we'll see you soon.
All right. Hey, thank you everybody. Have a great one.
Thanks everyone. We'll see you later.